Hello, I'd like to take a minute and walk you through the latest version of Tracknicity for DTools, which is our version 3.0 release, which has come out in April of 2023. For those of you who aren't familiar with Tracknicity, Tracknicity is an inventory management application that is specifically designed for the custom integration industry. There's two versions of Tracknicity, one that integrates with DTools SI, and that's the one we're going to be talking about today. We also have a QuickBooks version of Tracknicity available, and you can contact us for more information on that. But like I said, we're going to focus on the DTools version of DTools version of Tracknicity today. Some of the key features of Tracknicity: it's a full-blown inventory management application from both a mobile device and a web dashboard. And as I mentioned earlier, it's integrated with DTools. So we pull your product catalog, your projects, your purchase orders, everything that you're doing in DTools, we pull those into Tracknicity, and then we can update those items in the project when items are staged, when they've been delivered to a job site, and if they get returned. So you can check your inventory in DTools via Tracknicity. You can update items. You can do process change orders via Tracknicity to when an item gets added back in. So there's lots of integrated features that we'll go to here in just a minute. One of the newest features that we've added in our 3.0 release is labels and QR codes. So the ability to quickly generate a label for an item with a QR code that you can then use to scan and check out that item. And when that item gets checked out of Tracknicity, it updates back into DTools to show the project person that that item has indeed been checked out. Tracknicity also has very deep reporting capabilities, things such as staging area reporting, inventory valuation reporting, inventory by location, delivered items, etc. Tracknicity for DTools is $199 per month, and that's for an unlimited user license, so there's no per user fees or no per user licenses, and we do offer 1 month free with an annual subscription. As I've mentioned a couple of these features, but what's new with Tracknicity 3.0? The first new feature is that we now support handheld barcode scanners. So connected to a PC, a laptop, or a desktop, you can use a barcode scanner to check out items, learn UPC codes, all the things that you previously had to use a mobile phone for, you can now use a barcode scanner. I mentioned the labels and QR codes, the ability to automatically generate those and use those for checking out. I've also mentioned the deeper integration with DTools, so you can check your inventory inside of DTools in Tracknicity to see if you have the item in stock, and then when you stage that item or deliver that item, it updates in the project as well, and we'll go through a demo of that here in just a minute. One of the other big improvements that we've made is the ability to do returns. So if you need to return items to stock or allocate them to a different project, we've automated that process flow inside of Tracknicity. And we've generated some more reports inside of Tracknicity as well. So what I'd like to do now is spend just a couple minutes going through a demonstration of Tracknicity integrated in with DTools. So I'm going to start in the Tracknicity screen here. What we do with Tracknicity is we pull all of your inventory items across from your DTools product catalog. And we do that in the initial onboarding setup. So all of this search capability is intelligent search. So if I'm searching for a Cisco switch, I can search for Cisco. Maybe I know that it's an SG100, whatever the case might be. It's all very intelligent search. Or I can use the new scan functionality right here to scan and search for an item that has a barcode on it. So this works exactly the same way. Once I learn a barcode, I can scan for it here. Previously, that wasn't available on the web dashboard, only on the mobile device, but with the advent of a handheld scanner, I can do that now. If I go into a report here to look at a project, and we're going to look at this project that we've pulled over from DTools, I can see a number of things on this project here. So I can see all of the items that have been ordered for a particular project. These are pulling the purchase orders from DTools and bringing them over into Tracknicity. I can click on any item and I can get the status, so I can see that this item hasn't been checked out. I can see the date it was ordered. And if I want to get notified when this item has been received, I can click on this button, and when the item gets received, I'll get an alert on my iPhone. If I have an item that has been received but hasn't been delivered yet, for example, this item right here, and I want to generate a label, I use this button right here. And doing that is just going to bring up a quick dialog box. It's going to list the client name, the job name, and the job number, the part, the purchase order that it was on, and the date that it was received. And I can now use any label printer or really any printer to print this, this label off and stick it on the box. This QR code is used to check out that item when I'm ready to deliver it to the job site. I can also see any items that I've taken from stock for this project. And again, just like I could generate a label there, I can generate a label here. But this case, instead of telling me when it was received, it's going to show me the date that it was staged and also that it came from stock. One of the other new enhancements that I mentioned is the ability to process returns. So in this case right here, I have an item that has been staged but hasn't been delivered. So if I want to reallocate this item to another job or return it to stock, I simply click on this button right here. And this is going to give me the ability to either return it to stock and select where I want to return it to. So in this case, I'll return it to the warehouse. And now it asks me to confirm that. And now that item I can no longer return because it's already been returned to the warehouse and now shows up in my list of returned items right here. If I want to allocate an item to another project, I just simply click on this caret right here, and I would put in the job that I want to allocate it to, click that, and click Save. So makes it real easy to process returns and keep your information up to date. One thing we've also added in our new version of Tracknicity is the ability to see the entire DTools project inside of Tracknicity and the status of all of the items that are on the project. So you can see here what's been ordered, what's been received, picked, delivered, etc. This is the same information that you can get out of DTools, but it's nice that it's here and shows you all of the items that are on that project inside of DTools. The core of Tracknicity is processing transactions, and that's done right here using the new transaction button. So you basically select where are you taking the item from and where are you taking it to. Let's switch over to DTools here for a second and look at this project that we have open, the Aaron Rodgers residence. And we can see here that we need a Cisco SG105 PoE switch for that job. So I can go and I can look right here. I can use the check inventory button and I can check the inventory inside of Tracknicity. And it's going to bring up a dialog box that shows that I have 12 of these in stock. Here are the locations. I can also see that I have some staged for this job. So I want to go ahead and take one of these that I have in stock and stage it for this project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Tracknicity. I'm going to go from the warehouse. I'm going to go to the client, and it's going to prompt me to select which client I'm referring to. So I'm going to select this job. I'm going to go ahead and search for the item. I could use a barcode scanner to scan that item, but I haven't learned that UPC code yet here. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to select the item. And in this case, I'm not ready to deliver the item yet. I just want to stage it or add to the staging area, as we call it. So I'm going to click Add to Staging Area right here. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this transaction. And what that's going to do is it's going to put that item in the staging area. So I can go in here and I can filter for the Rodgers residence project. And I can see that item right here has now been staged for that project. Quantity 1, it was taken from stock. If I go back into DTools and I go into the project, and this would happen automatically if I checked out the project, but I'm going to do it manually here, where I update from integrations, it's going to say, hey, you've got an update. Would you like to do it? I'm going to go ahead and update this project. I'm going to click yes, save the project, and you're going to see here that that item that we just looked at has now been updated to from stock. So it was taken from stock, and it shows that it was picked by this person and the date that it was picked. When I go to deliver that item, it will also update this field to show that the item was delivered by. So here's an example of an item that was delivered, who it was delivered by. And then it also shows information for any returns that are done. So this is the enhanced features that we've brought with the new Tracknicity version 3.0 is the ability to update these projects in DTools automatically. If I go back to Tracknicity here, We've also added the ability to generate a change order inside of DTools if you've got a DTools project additions or return. So if you're adding a new item and it's not in the project, simply selecting that box there and then approving the transaction will either add the item to an existing change order or prompt you to create a new change order in DTools. So this is perfect for all those last minute adds, changes, etc. of a project. If I want to view my inventory, I just go here and I can see all of the items that I've got. Each item, for example, has a bunch of information on it, the cost, the price. I can view the locations of where my inventory is. I can see a history of that item. And this little pen button here is my magic edit button. So this is where I can go and assign sublocations, so like secondary locations inside of a warehouse. I can manually adjust my quantities. I can set min-maxes. I can learn the barcode for this. So if I want to learn the barcode of this, I would simply click this button right here, use my handheld scanner or my phone if I were using the mobile app, and scan that item. And then we support B-stock or open box items, so I can put any quantity that I have there and what value I want to carry that at. I went through the project report earlier. There's some other stuff you can do inside of the project report. You can see a detailed view of the budget hours of a project, just so you've got that visibility there. And you can also assign the area of the staging area where this particular project is located. So if you allocate shelf space to a certain project, you can say, hey, this is in here, or this is in this location right here. Tracknicity supports sublocations for both inventory items as well as the staging area. There's a lot of other reporting in here. I can quickly look at my inventory by location. So this shows me all of my items that I have a non-zero quantity of. Anytime you see this little icon right here, that's an export to CSV, which is real handy if you need an analysis or whatever purposes. I can look at all the items that I have in my staging area, and I can quickly filter by item. So maybe I'm looking for Leviton parts, and I just start typing in Leviton, it'll show me that. Maybe I'm looking for a particular project, it'll filter that. So all very smart, intelligent search capability. And then if I want to deliver these items, I could just click deliver right here. And once I deliver an item, it's now going to show up inside of quick reports on a report we've created called the delivered items. So here's that item that we were just looking at. I can see that it was delivered on Wednesday, April 5th, quantity, who it was by, and whether it came from stock or staging. So I can export this to CSV if I need it for invoicing purposes or whatever the case might be. We've got lots of other reports in here, such as returned items, inventory value by location, most valuable items, open purchase orders, B stock, etc. The min-max report is available on the dashboard, but this also shows you any quantities where you've set a minimum or maximum quantity to let you know that you're either below the minimum or above the maximum. So that in these cases, you would want to either remove this excess inventory or place a purchase order inside of DTools for a new item. And then when you receive that item, your inventory quantity will automatically adjust. We support full auditing and cycle counting, and there's also a total valuation report, which you can use for financial purposes, entry into QuickBooks, etc. When you're ready to deliver items to a job site, you use the new transaction button, and instead of going from the warehouse, you go from the staging area. And this prompts you to either do one of two things. You can either select the job, which will bring up a pick list of all of the items that are in your staging area for a particular project. So you can scroll down here and see that. The other thing you can do is when you go from the staging area, it automatically will prompt you to see if you want to scan the items. And so if you click scan items and then use the handheld scanner that we talked about earlier, you can scan the QR code and it knows exactly what item is associated with that QR code. It highlights it here in a little darker font, and then you can quickly click submit, and that will deliver that item out to the job site. So it gives you two ways of taking items from the staging area, either selecting it from a pick list or scanning the QR code that you generated on the label piece there. I showed you the ability to check inventory inside of Tracknicity and the ability to update these items when they are actually delivered out to the job site. So we've kind of gone over that functionality. You can, when you do a purchase order inside of DTools, we automatically see that item inside of Tracknicity. That's what we put in your staging area automatically here. So it's really important if you're using Tracknicity for DTools that you're doing your purchase orders inside of DTools as well. That's a quick overview of Tracknicity for DTools and what it can do for your particular business. I'd like to take just a second and walk you through the mobile app here. So what I'm doing is just screen mirroring an iPhone here. This app works on any iPhone or Android device, and you'll see it looks an awful lot like the web dashboard. I have my checkout functionality here where I can take items from the warehouse or from the staging area to a project. I just simply select the from. If I'm going to go from the staging area, it's going to prompt me for what client I'm referring to. I could also scan the item here, the QR code that we talked about earlier. I select the job. It brings up a list of the items that are in the staging area, and I can simply select the items that I'm going to deliver and click submit. Now those items are going to show up as delivered. Maybe I'm taking something from the warehouse and moving it to a van, so I can simply do a transaction here. I can browse for the item and pick it here if my catalog's small enough. If I want to search for it, I can do that there. And I can also scan the item and the UPC code by clicking that button, and that will bring up a camera function, which I can use to scan the barcode. So you'll see here that this functions exactly the same way that the web dashboard does. I can go and view my inventory just like I can on the web dashboard. I can see items, cost, price, etc. These are all permission based, so if you didn't want people to see that, you have the ability to change that. I can go in here and manually edit my quantities of an item, learn UPC codes, set minimum, maximum stocks, etc. Back on the dashboard, I have full functionality to see history. I can see what items are actually in our warehouse here with a simple click of a button. I can submit a request. So if I wanted to submit a request for a delivery or an item that I need, there's a request engine inside of Tracknicity to allow for that. I can see the requests here. I can see the list of all the items that are in my staging area. So if I'm to see if a particular part is there. Same thing with my inventory. So it functions very, very much the same way that you're used to on the web dashboard, just in the hands of a mobile application. I can also, in the admin section, use this to do audits and cycle counts, as well as receive new items into stock and put them into my inventory. So as you see, very, very straightforward, simple to use application available on any Android or iOS device. Just getting back to the slides here to wrap up for just a second. Why is Tracknicity better than the other solutions that are out there? It works with DTools out of the box. It's very cost effective and easy to deploy, and it's $199 for the entire organization. There's no additional fees for multi-locations or number of items, and there's no special hardware required. It's cloud-based and always available. It's a super easy to use web-based interface and mobile app, and it's easily manageable by end users and administrators with roles and restrictions to protect information. If you want to get started with Tracknicity, you go to and sign up at tracknicity.com, and once you've done that, you'll be contacted for a free onboarding session. That onboarding session takes about an hour. And once you've done that, you're off and running. It usually takes companies about 2 or 3 days to kind of get going with Tracknicity, test some transactions out. There is no commitment to sign up. So if you want to cancel after a month, you certainly feel free to do so. But it's really easy to get started with Tracknicity. And like I said, it's very cost effective. So thank you for listening to our demonstration today. If you have any questions, you can contact us at sales@tracknicity.com or support@tracknicity.com. If you are a Tracknicity customer, you can always generate a ticket inside of our support engine, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. Thanks.